Rain and the Moon by Onyx Moon on AO3. Read by Lily6645. This fic includes near-death experiences, suicidal thoughts, and angst. That is your warning. On to the story. Chapter 8. So cold tonight. No moon in sight. Very unusual with its rains. I should go and check on my love. Nothing better has happened to him.
Midnight. Did the green-haired man leave the letter?
There was the sound of a bell. Then a cat on the sidewalk in front of the alley dropped a half-open envelope.
Thank you.
Purring, she disappeared. It's quiet tonight. It should not be this quiet on a rainy night. Shota walked back from the window to get his coffee. The sound of paws running stopped him. Then Yen came running from the hall.
Yen, get back here!
Hazashi shouted, crouching. Shota swiftly snatched up the runaway in his arms.
Thanks, love. I was trying to give her a bath, but as you can see, she escaped.
They laughed, taking Yen back. The dark-haired man glanced over the clock.
Why were you trying to give her a bath at 12 o'clock at night?
When he looked back over, Hazashi was pouting like a child who's not getting their way.
Don't you give me that look,
Shota teased, a soft smile settling on his face.
You should get on patrol. Don't want to keep the little listener waiting, do you?
Hazashi turned back towards the hall, looking over his shoulder to smile brightly at his husband.
Fine, I'll go now. Don't forget to sleep.
Shaking his head, Shota hopped out the window and into the cold and unforgiving night. The fact I have to remind him to sleep when I'm the one who has a night patrol and works at a school? We're just two peas in a pod. I'm so glad that I married him. Jumping over to the rooftop that he and Rain normally meet on, leaning against the cold, wet wall, Shota turned his head up to see the moonless night sky, the rain making it hard to see. If only you were here too, Oboro. Reaching up, Shota entangled his hand into his capture weapon, pulling out the goggles that were gifted to him by Oboro.
I miss you. We both do. I wish I would have told you how I felt before you died.
The rain lightened a little. He huffed out a sad laugh.
Happy birthday. I should have stayed home, but Hazashi insisted I go.
A tear fell, but he quickly wiped it away. Wind tousled his rain-soaked hair. Shivering, Shota forced his face blank, breathing in and out to get his emotions under control. Not now. Think about that later. The rain fades out and Aizawa decides he's done waiting and swings to the tallest building in the prefecture. He landed silently in the middle of the rooftop, looking over to the edge. What he saw was a small child sitting, legs through the railing. Shota pulled out his phone to inform Rain that he'd be late tonight. Nighttime duos. Eraser.
Hey, kid, so I'm going to be running a little late tonight.
Not waiting for a response, Shota put his phone back and slowly took a step closer to the kid, making his footsteps heavy so as not to scare the child. I can be a hero. No.
You can't. I can.
Tears rolled down his cheeks. hands pulling at his hair. Izuku was numb to all of this. All he could clearly register was the voice in his head.
You can't be a hero, Deku. Might as well kill yourself. No one will care.
Yes, they will.
No, they won't.
His hands pulled harder on his hair, though Izuku couldn't feel it.
No, stop. People will care.
Rain pattered down, dripping down his face, mixing with his tears. Cold, calloused hand gently rested on Izuku's. His crying was now turned to confusion and some fear. Who touched my hands? Panicking more, he tried to get away. The hands in his hair slowly and gently loosened his grip. Izuku slowly started to relax. After a while, the person had gotten both of his hands to let go of his hair, and they replaced them with their own. Izuku had somehow, in the time the person had been untangling his hands from his hair, had turned around and was now sitting in the person's lap.
Kid, it's okay. I'm not going to hurt you.
Izuku inclined his head up to try and get a look at who was there.
Is it alright if I move your hand away from your hair?
Izuku nodded in a daze. Why is this person being so nice? Only Eraserhead is nice, unless... He looked up past the scarf and at the man that was definitely Eraserhead.
Whoa, take it slow. You're going to give whiplash.
Shota's eyes crinkled in concern, and Izuku was wide-eyed after getting a good look at the person. Then Izuku lunged into Aizawa's chest, crying again.
Hey, kid, shh, it's okay.
What happened to you? We should get off the roof. He's so cold. Aizawa hugged the teen closer to his body, curling around him.
What's your name, kid?
Sniffling, Izuku clinged closer to Aizawa. Izuku Midoriya.
Who are you?
A low voice whispered into Shota's ear. He jumped, turning his head, keeping Midoriya tucked into his chest.
What are you doing here with my love? What gives you the right?
Shota and the stranger stared at each other for a long time.
I was getting him away from the ledge.
The stranger, who had hair that defied gravity and eyes that belonged to an insane person, looked down at Midoriya, who was shivering in Aizawa's arms, and frowned.
Fine, but can I also hold him? I don't think that's a good idea. Why not? He's cold. I can keep him warm. Please. I can.
Izuku spoke up quietly. Are you the one who left the letter? Puppeteer, right? The person, Puppeteer, looked ecstatic, but Shota was horrified. He knew about Puppeteer and their ways. They were an upcoming villain that sung their victims to death, but sometimes let them live just to torture them and keep the unfortunate person prisoner until they died.
You remember my name, Izuku-kun. Now, can I hold you?
Can we get off the roof?
Yes, we can, Midoriya.
Shota stood up with Midoriya still in his arms. This made Puppeteer pout.
Can I carry him down?
Aizawa gave him an, "Are you really thinking I'd let you?" look. Puppeteer was about to protest when a phone started to ring. Letting out a frustrated sigh, Puppeteer pulled out his phone.
I told him not to call unless it was an emergency.
They grumbled. A portal formed behind him after a couple of minutes of acquired silence.
Oh, and before I go, Izuku.
The boy in question looked up from where he had his face buried into Aizawa's shoulder. Yeah?
My name is Shinso Hitoshi, or Hitoshi Shinso, but Shinso sounds better.
Shinso apparently shrugged. Shota was shocked. That was the kid that went missing a couple months ago. He adjusted his grip on Midoriya, reaching out a hand to stop Shinso. Izuku, on the other hand, was short-circuiting. What the fuck? That was uncalled for. So random! Hitoshi was stepping back into the portal.
I'll see you next time, love. And maybe Eraserhead won't be here. We can only hope.
Then he was gone. Both of them were still trying to process what had just occurred. Izuku conjured up a shadow cloud and pulled away from Eraserhead a little, wrapping the cloud around himself for extra warmth. "What's your name? I don't think I caught it." The man I questioned blinked owlishly for a minute. Izuku poked at Eraserhead's face when he didn't say anything for a couple minutes. Startled, he said,
Aizawa Shota. Now, the important thing. Why were you on the roof in the first place?
"What about Shinso? Are we not going to talk about what happened there? Because I think He was interrupted by his phone going off. When Izuku pulled it out of his pocket, Aizawa got a glimpse of the screen. It was the "I don't know anymore" group chat. Aizawa knew that for sure because he was the one who named that. Then there was the fact that when Midoriya sent the message, and no, he hadn't read it, it showed up as Raindrop. Raindrop!
Hey, kid. Are you Rain? You know, the vigilante?
That is the end of Rain and the Moon by Onyx Moon on AO3. If you like this, please go support the original author. Link in the description below. You can either do this by going to their fic and leaving a kudos, or going to their YouTube called Onyx Sunflower, where they are also podficking this fic. Hope you have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye, kittens and heroes.